He will. He's done it again.
Quick conversations with King Drew Millions. Quick conversations with King Drew Millions. Quick conversations with King Drew Millions.
Quick conversations with King Drew Millions.
Let's chop it up.
Welcome, family, to another episode of Quick Conversation with King Drew Millions. It's your boy, Mr. Quick.
And I'm King Drew Millions.
And this presentation is brought to you by the Professional Brand, where we keep it P, you know what I'm talking about?
Always.
And the Opportunity Center, who has provided this lovely set here. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all for that.
Yes, sir.
And we have a beautiful, wonderful guest, Mrs. Jones. Dr. Jones.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
we ain't
yeah.
gonna shout change on that, Miss Ma'am. You earned that. You know what I'm saying? Did your thing for that.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? We gonna skip all that me talking. And I want you to do your...
Well, hold on. Before we get into that, this is a legendary moment for us. I want to thank you for showing up. We thank all our guests. Everybody means something to us, and we at the beginning of our career. But, man, we have a doctor on our show. That is big.
Nah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? And you are the first female on our show. You know, so the standard is being set, the tone is being set. You first female, first doctor, and the first female doctor to own their own practice of what they do. Thank you. I mean, this is it, right? It gets better every week. So
every time.
I just had to, sprinkle that in there real quick.
Okay. Well, Mrs. Jones, let's see. Go ahead and introduce yourself, madam. Let the world know who you are.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shanae, or as he said, Dr. Shanae Jones. I am a pediatric occupational therapist and a doctor of public health. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for coming. I mean, I know it's a little chilly,
It's not too bad.
Not too bad.
Better than last week.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
God bless Houston, Texas.
Had me stuck out of town. He luckily got out of town before, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's what them early flights will do, red eye.
Right.
Should have did it, but I like to stay the whole extra day and then catch a later flight, but came back and bit me in the butt. End up having to stay an extra 2 days.
Oh, a lot of people got stuck.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
And I felt bad. It's one of those situations where I had an early flight, so I'm at home, but a lot of people was still stuck. So 3 days of being stuck somewhere when you was predicted to leave, like you supposed to leave on a Sunday, but you still there Wednesday.
Got to spend extra money.
Yeah, because it wasn't no comp, because the thing of it wasn't the airline's fault.
Mm-hmm.
The mayor shut down the airport, so it wasn't no flights coming into no airport. So I was just like, dang, it is what it is. Good thing I ain't bring it all with me.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
So I hear you got a little slight accent.
I do.
Where you from, man?
From what I hear, I don't think it's that bad. But I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana, or Breaux Bridge, Louisiana, but most people know about Lafayette.
Right. The Flats, that's what my people call it. Yeah.
That's it.
My family from Welch.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
not too far from
not too far.
Not too far. Yeah,
We're probably related eventually. Everybody's cousins there.
Way down the line. Yeah. Kevin Gates say if it's past fourth,
that counts.
Yeah, man.
But
I just partied in Breaux Bridge.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love to party down there. I'd have been down there a few times just to...
Yeah.
But it's right. Everybody family. Like, we go in the club. I went with a friend.
Yeah.
And we get down there, and everybody in the club cousins.
Yeah, facts. I mean, because I went to the Strawberry back in the day in Lake Charles. Yeah, see, I'm showing my age, you know what I'm saying? So, and almost everybody in there was my cousin.
That's crazy.
Because I got people in Lake Charles, Wells, Jennings, Roanoke, Iowa, all them little small towns along I-10.
So
Jackson's,
Lions. You was born in Breaux Bridge. So how long?
I was born in Lafayette.
I mean, Lafayette, but you was raised?
In Breaux Bridge, but I went to school in Lafayette.
Okay. And so what age Like, how long were you down there? Like, what?
High school, and when I graduated, I went to LSU.
Oh, so you basically grew up your whole childhood out there. So you didn't come to Houston until okay.
Not until
So
after
how
grad
was
school.
it growing up out there?
It's simple. Simple. I think it's a good place to raise a family, but after you grow up, it's like, I'm ready to go. I got to get out of here. I just saw someone that posted on Instagram during the storm. It was a man, and he owns a catered restaurant at home. And she was like, I don't know why anybody would want to leave. And he left. Well, what it was, he had a voicemail, and he was like, saying how the bridge was closed, baby. You don't need to come here because if you come here, you're not going to be able to get in and all that stuff. And it was like, yeah, there's no place like home, but I don't want to go back. So,
Man.
yeah. But it's a good place to live and grow up in. Everybody's real close-knit, like your neighbors are your family. Most times they are, but if not, they still treat everybody like they're a part of their family. So it's a good place to grow up.
So
Real
you
Southern hospitality.
Yeah.
country. So you country.
No, I wouldn't say that. I prefer living in the country, but that's why I live on the north side of town.
Right,
I can't
right,
do
right.
Hold
Houston.
on, don't talk. Hold up. There y'all, man. Nah, I'm just kidding. North side is the country part of Houston. You know what I'm saying? The south side is the city. It is what it is.
Yep.
We
So,
still got ditches.
yeah, nah, true. So you grew up in the house with your mom and dad?
I did. Yeah. Two-parent household. I have two brothers that are for my dad.
Okay.
But and I also, my mom, she pretty much took care of her brothers and sisters. So I'm the oldest on my mom's side as far as the
Okay.
cousins. So I helped take care of all my cousins growing up too. So
Got you. Oh, so you was the only child in the house with your mom and dad? Oh, so
was.
you was spoiled. You just had it your okay, got you.
Very responsible too, because all the responsibilities fell on you. huh?
Yeah.
they did with my little cousins. They did, but I wouldn't trade it. I
Right,
learned a lot from it.
That's all right. That's
I
all
did.
right.
So let's see. So yeah, so growing up in Lafayette, Bow Bridge, going to school in Lafayette, only child.
Then going to Baton Rouge. Like, how was that transition? Because I hear the raggedy get, you know what I'm saying, real ratchet.
College was an experience.
Ooh, and you was down there when Boosie and Webby was at the height of their
And
career.
I got to meet a lot of them because that's where they started. So.
Right.
Oh, right. So they was down there a lot.
Yeah.
And that only child syndrome kicked in. You was partying.
No, I wasn't that bad.
You wasn't that bad. You ain't let it get to you.
I don't believe it.
Well, being almost 6 feet, and most of my friends were much shorter than me, I ended up being like the bodyguard in a sense. So I had to watch them because they would cut up.
There's always a mama bear of the crew. It's
It was me.
always one. But, okay, let me ask you this, because usually the mama bear of the crew be like the blocker. You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't. I'd let them, as long as we all went home together. You can do whatever you need to
So
do.
y'all could do y'all thing, but y'all better all come back to this car and we all leaving together.
Because I was normally the person that had the car. So some of my friends had cars, but I was always the driver because I really wouldn't drink. My parents didn't drink growing up or smoke or any of that. So when I got to college, it was kind of like, should I do it? Should I not do it? Because, my parents didn't do it.
Right.
So I was normally the one that would always
So
drive.
you was the designated driver, just watching everybody annoyed,
Sitting down, just
upset.
being quiet, yeah.
So do you feel comfortable sharing if I ask, did you try it?
I've tried some things.
Okay. Okay.
Not the hardcore stuff.
Right. Nah, because, I mean, like I say, we're hearing the opportunities, and I work with kids on a day-to-day basis, and I want to let them know, you know what I mean? Just because you've tried something, that doesn't have to become part of you
Right.
as a person.
For
You
sure.
know what I mean?
Right.
It's just a collective of experiences that you've gone through that you can grow through.
Yeah. And I think for me, like, of course, drinking, smoking, that was something that everybody did. So, of course, I tried that growing up. But to see the effects that certain things had on people, that made me not want to try it because I didn't want to experience it.
Right.
Yeah, see, you was around that Blue Dolphin era.
Yeah.
Blue Dolphin era. I know that Blue Dolphin era very well. Because Blue Dolphins had me at Pajamageddon at Lamar University cutting up.
I ain't gonna lie, them
bet it
pajama gettings, man, was crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bruh, I scaled the wall one year. I ain't lying. Because like after Pajamageddon, like I had a couple friends that went there, but we wanted to go to some after festivities, right? And the way that their dormitories was set up, it was like an apartment complex, but you couldn't get in without access. And man, me and my buddies, we sat out there, we waited. It was like, man, bro, I'm finna climb this wall, bro.
You did it.
I did it.
Oh, wow.
I did
Thanks to the swimming animal. huh?
Hey, man, you know what I'm talking about? Flipper. For real.
Oh man. So
But that's an experience, you know what I'm saying? I'm well beyond that time of my life, you know what I'm saying? So here I am. I'm not doctored up, but I'm degreed up, you know what I mean? So you too could do it.
yeah. So you I was told by a little birdie that you was very active. You played sports. So did you start playing sports in middle school, high school, college?
I started, I think, my 6th grade year middle school.
What sport did you play?
Started with volleyball, basketball, track. I did all of that.
Oh, so you
I
played-
tried tennis. It wasn't for me. It was too hot. But I did all of that. In high school, it was my goal. I really wanted to play basketball for LSU. But I tore my ACL my junior year.
Your junior year? Oh man, high school.
I did.
Man.
I did. So that was the end of
So you didn't play
dancing.
in college?
No, no. I knew everybody that played, but no. And my roommate, she was a volleyball player, so I got the experience, but not actually playing. But I got to like see her play
Right.
and be able to see what she did and kind of hang around her
So you
and the
lived
volleyball.
through,
Yeah,
live vicariously
I
through
did.
her.
I did.
Right.
I did.
Did that bring about any like jealousy or like, dang, that could have been me at some point?
No, I think I knew because she would have to wake up at like 5 o'clock to go to practice. And it was like she didn't really have that ability to do everything else I was able to do. Because at one point she was interested in my sorority too, but she couldn't because of volleyball. So it was like, it was either volleyball or live the college experience. And she did, hang out with us from time to time, but volleyball took up a lot
So
of her
it
time.
consumed a lot of her
It
time.
did. It did.
So you say sorority. I'm either say AKA or Delta.
Keep going.
Really? Zeta?
No.
What?
Sigma Gamma Rho, Sorority Incorporated.
Okay. I'm shocked.
Don't be.
I mean, I wouldn't have picked that one first.
Last
personally.
created, best designed.
So how did you end up choosing that one?
Ooh. Okay. So, well, I do have family members that are a part of the other sororities.
Correct. No, they was
Dang, why
mad.
you gotta say the other sorority?
If you knew
Them.
the story, you'd probably say, oh, yeah, you needed to go ahead and do the other thing. So I expressed interest, and there was a situation to where the ladies that were in the sorority, I won't say which one, of course, but I had a job, and I was working for the Boys and Girls Club. But it was to where they were hazing me before I even started the process. And it got to a point to where they were the reason why I got fired from a job.
Wow.
Yeah. So, like you said, you have kids in here that, have life experiences. The person that I was dating, his cousin had actually gotten kidnapped and murdered. So we went
wow.
back home. And I called them that morning, and I said, we were home and we were looking for him because at that point he was just kidnapped. But they were like, no, like you're not showing up at work. These ladies had said you said this, you were doing that, and it was like I wasn't, and I had worked for the Boys and Girls Club for over 10 years.
Oh,
So I
wow.
had done it since I was 14.
Oh wow.
So,
Shout
but
out
it was
to
in
the Boys
another
and Girls
city
Club.
at that time. I had just gotten transferred over in a sense. Because they had that influence on the site director, I got fired. And the man had actually gotten kidnapped and murdered. So,
So the sorority told your job that you
because
was
they had volunteered there and they were kind of in her head talking to her.
saying that you
Yeah.
made the story up.
But if you had physical proof, couldn't you have went and gotten your job back?
It already. And I'm the type, I'm not going to beg. And I ended up actually getting a better job on campus. So it worked out for me. But after that happened, I was like, I'm not doing this.
That's crazy.
I'm not.
Lose your job, really dealing with a mourning or looking for a loved one.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably was dry hating on the cool. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't know. But after that, I got a message from someone in the sorority, and I didn't know what Sigma Gamma Rho was. All I knew was AKA and Delta. I got a message from her, and she said that we're having an interest meeting at the Women's Center. So I was calling my mom. I was like, Mom, I'm walking. This may be them again trying to haze me or do something bad. If I don't call you back in an hour, send somebody for me. And that time, we didn't, I think the iPhone had just came out, but it wasn't, a tracker or anything on it. So I told exactly where I was, but it ended up being a good experience. And I met the ladies at Sigma Gamma Rho on campus. And ever since then, I was sold. So.
That's all right. That's
Yeah.
all right. So would you recommend the college experience to most individuals?
I would. Right now, I'm currently the bachelorist or the president of our graduate chapter.
Oh wow.
In Spring, Texas. But the college experience, it provides a different experience. So if you can do it in
Absolutely.
college,
Absolutely.
do it.
Right.
Undergrad is great too, of course, but college, it's like you get to experience the culture in a sense.
Right.
So, you're going to neophyte presentations, you're going to the parties, you get to stroll, that's what it's about. And of course, your history and you're a part of history
Right.
in that same instance. So, yeah, I would do it in undergrad.
What's
for
your
sure.
favorite part about college? Like, I know it's a lot of stuff, but like when you think
I went
about
to
it.
LSU in undergrad. Football, I got to go to all the
Yeah,
games.
true.
Dated a football player, so there was that. So got to go to all of the championship. I went to the national championship in 2007, so that was a good experience. The sorority itself, the African American community at LSU at that time, everybody knew everybody, from what I hear, it's still like that now. So even though we were PWI, it's like you still felt like you went to an HBCU because you just hung around just all your people. So, yeah. So there was a lot of good experiences out of it, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the only thing that I didn't get a chance to do was actually pledge because someone met their demise, what I'm saying, during that year. So all lines were shut down at the time.
Dang, I hear a lot. That's crazy
It
because you like
happens.
the third or fourth person I know. Like I got a homeboy. They was right at the end, and one of the pledgees died, and they just shut it down. That's crazy. That if someone like something like that happened that year, everybody just get stopped and have to start the next year. And most people be exhausted and don't even want to do
And
it.
sometimes they get expelled or suspended for like 10, 20 years. It all depends on what they do.
Because it get bad, bro. Like, it really do, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I was thinking, like, after it happened, maybe it was for the best because I'm not finna beg you to be your friend, then you beat me up, then I gotta pay dues, wake up in the middle of the night, let you drive my car. I was like, nah, because I pledged in high school. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you was a gent.
You know what I'm saying? G5. But, you know what I'm saying? It was just totally different. But some of the guys that were in the gent organization were in the organization that I was looking towards. So I didn't foresee it being like a stretch for me to join the organization because they were already familiar with me. But it didn't happen. But I have been approached in recent years by other organizations asking me to join their grad chapter. And I'm like, man, walking on 40, man. I'm a little too old for
But now it's about, well, you already do it, but it's about community and, the younger generation seeing what you do with that fraternity and, giving back to the city in a sense. Because in college, it's like you're giving back to your community, but it's mostly like campus, right off of campus. It's not like a citywide thing. So
Right,
it'll
right.
still
So
be
I
a good
guess
one.
But I mean, seeing that on your jacket, spring '05, fall '05, you feel me? Like, it,
Does something to you.
So I guess to answer that question, you condone somebody in their later years joining a sorority, but without the. So I have a buddy that joined, but the actual members who got it out the mud, so to say, went to college and did it, they don't respect them. What would you say about that? Like,
Well, I will say Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated is a non-hazing organization.
no.
But I know some graduate chapters that the grads actually go through the process with the undergrads. So they have to experience whatever they're experiencing because they all do their line.
So
at the
even
same
in the
time.
later ages, they still make them go through that process.
Yeah.
I'm too old for that.
Yeah. But other organizations, you just do the whole graduate process. And I think to me, and it may be not, it may not be like this for everyone else, but it's about learning our history and living out what our ancestors said for us to do.
Right,
So
right.
if you're firm in knowing what your organization is about and the cause, the mission, and you're carrying that out, and you learn that through your process, and you can tell me the information that you learned through the process, then you're doing it. You've made it.
So you're looking at more knowledge than physical.
Right.
Like, as long as
For
you
sure.
come in, because with this particular dude, they just brought him in and making him pay dues, of course, and basically accepted him from that angle. Like, he got his degree, he pay his dues, and they're like, all right, cool.
It's not so much of a process.
But it's other people on the outside, like, man, he ain't real. He ain't really one of us.
Yeah, that's
it.
unfortunate.
I felt like that. I'm like, man, I ain't gonna get the respect.
Yeah,
if
the
you ain't
respect
seen
ain't
that
there.
20-year mark on me, you know what I'm saying? You gonna
Yeah.
think I'm green, and I ain't going. I can't do it.
I understand, but it's still worth it. I do.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I might consider it. I mean, I still have my connections, so
Yeah.
it might be still on the table.
And it may be one of the chapters that all work together.
Nah, I was childish back then. I used to laugh at them, like the sororities. I remember
Really?
getting into it with a few people because I was like, man, y'all
See,
goofy.
nah,
But now
but
I'm
see-
like, man, I wish I have been a little more mature and because like the
So
Army
you ain't go
and
to the step
pledge and
shows
those
with me
guys.
when we was in middle school, did you? When Key used to have the step shows and stuff like that?
I'm trying to think. Did I? I don't. I know I went with you a few at Booker T.
Nah, see, I got introduced to it
No, I
in
didn't go
middle
with you
school.
at Key. I went with you to a few at Booker T.
Yeah. See, it was totally different. I'm talking about like to get up there on that stage and have all them ladies
Oh, so you
screaming
pledged
for
that
you.
Key as well.
Now, see, okay. Mr. Latham was over the gin
some
organization at Cashmere at the time. And I just wasn't vibing with bro.
Right,
I'm
right,
just keeping
right.
it 1,000. You know what I'm saying?
Understood.
So I never really partaked in the
So
festivities.
you speaking about the experience of watching it.
Watching it.
Got you.
Like, man, bro, to see all them girls run up to the stage and see you do your thing.
Yeah, y'all-
Man, I was like, man, I want that to be me. You know what I'm saying? But I never really just got.
Yeah.
Well, I did when I went to be.
Then when you got to Booker T, you was like, did you feel, but you ain't feel that same
Well,
experience?
see, I wasn't on the step team. But I had my gin jacket on, like just to
Wait,
walk
so what
around
did
with
you
the-
do?
Hey, man, I was a part of the organization. I was a part of the organization at that point. It didn't even matter because I reaped the benefits just of being a part of the
Yeah.
organization. You know what I'm
Boy,
saying?
he
Like,
gonna get out of something, ain't you?
hey, man, I'm gonna find. I'm a water sign, man. I'm gonna find my way. For
You a
real.
gent without the gents, huh?
Nah, I'm all caps on that. All caps on GENTS.
Man.
For real.
So, what was my next question I was gonna ask? So you graduated from LSU. Mm-hmm. with a bachelor's in.
Kinesiology.
Okay.
Oh, so you
Exercise
knew
science.
why and everything had messed up in your leg and all that.
did.
Yeah.
Did that push? Is that the reason why you did it? Because of that?
No, I think because I knew, well, I guess so. Because I knew I couldn't play sports. I wanted to do something sports related. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Did you partake in any other extracurricular activities like
I
playing
danced.
instruments or anything?
I was in dancing for about 17 years, and I taught it for a little bit. And I actually played the violin and the flute. So
Really?
That's interesting.
Okay.
I was in the orchestra in high school. Yeah.
Really?
That's definitely interesting.
Wouldn't think it.
So how did you? Yeah, how did you get into that?
My great grandpa, and he's still alive today. He
Shout out
actually
to
lives in
Grandpa.
lives in Louisiana. At that time, he was living in Connecticut. He just sent me a violin and said I had to play it. So I had to play it because he
Was he part of a band or something?
he played he played a lot of instruments, but he was a part of I think the Connecticut Orchestra, and he played the cello. So it was something that he just sent and said she has to do it. I did it.
Okay. Now, see, I have a coworker. She's from New Orleans, and I was listening to some Zydeco, and she was like, "We don't listen to that in New Orleans. We don't listen to that." I'm like,
They don't.
"Really?"
Wait, y'all don't listen to Zydeco like
we
that?
do.
No.
But in New Orleans,
In
they
New
don't.
Orleans, they don't.
No.
That's what threw me.
Yeah, some people do. It just depends, I guess, where you
She
are.
say that's a country thing. See, I'm from the city.
That's it.
That's exactly. I'm from the city. I'm like,
Everything has a bounce beat.
right.
Oh,
Right.
okay, got you. And that ain't bouncing. Yeah.
But it depends on where you are, because we lived in New Orleans for a little bit, and it just depended on what part of the city you were in.
Right.
Gotcha.
But I know it is one of the birthplaces of jazz. You know what I'm saying? If you ever know the history, Utah Jazz actually started in New Orleans.
Yep.
The basketball team. You know
Oh,
what I
for
mean?
real?
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Fun fact, you know what I'm saying? I always got some trivia stuff for you.
So New Orleans jazz.
Yeah, that's what they started out as.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because I was like, Utah, like,
How did that get there?
for real. And then if you think about it, the team colors go back to New Orleans colors.
Mardi Gras based. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, it all makes sense once
Boy,
you
you
start
be
putting
having some fun facts, boy.
Bro, my head ain't big for no reason, man. You know
I'm
what
like
I'm
that too. I
saying?
understand.
For real, it's a lot of
You be
stuff
having little
going
fun
on.
facts, little tidbits, like why? It's like I'm glad to know that, but like,
Nah, bro, like people laugh at me because I get a kick out of watching documentaries, bro. Like I love to learn. Like I watch crime shows and pretty much documentaries all day.
We have a new app that I just found. It's called Curiosity.
Okay.
And it's all kind of documentaries. I watched last week. It was something about the start of medicine. So it was like, it went back to the early 1800s and everything that
Really?
they would do. Yeah, so.
You gonna make me download that right now as we
so
speak.
how did you find this app? You just
I'm the same. I like
just
watching
curious.
history stuff, history-based documentaries.
Google, find me an app where I can watch old movies. Like, Google, find me an app where I can just learn.
It's interesting. I feel like that's the part of living life.
Micro
to
learning,
know-
huh?
To learn as much as you can.
Nah, that's
It's a done deal. It's already on the
true. Oh, you
phone.
done got it already. There
I
you
ain't
go.
playing no games.
So how long it took you to learn how to play the instrument?
The flute I actually wanted to play, and that was in middle school. And the violin, I think I started, I have to ask my mom, I think I started when I was 10. And by the time I went to high school, I was good enough to play in the orchestra, so we played for all the musicals the high school had.
How was that experience? Like going to, like, I know y'all went to like a lot of elegant stuff, like performing and stuff.
Well,
Oh,
we
no,
mainly
really?
just did it at school
Oh, so
because
y'all
our
did-
school they hosted a lot of musicals every year.
Mm-hmm.
But we did get hired a few times to actually like play for weddings and different events.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the group that I was a part of. We kind of stopped kind of around the September 11 time. We had a friend in the orchestra. Her dad was a pilot too, and it wasn't related to 9/11, but their plane actually crashed with her and her whole family in there.
Oh, wow.
So it changed the dynamics of us like playing and
Yeah.
so
Ooh.
it was just a different experience after that. So we didn't really do too much after that.
That's crazy.
That's great. Yeah, it really is. So hold on, how'd you end up from kinesiology to being a therapist? I mean, like, not a physical therapist, but like a mental therapist.
Well, I'm an occupational therapist, so I don't
Okay.
actually do too much mental health. I did do a rotation in mental health, but my long story, I guess. My junior year.
We here to talk about
That's
it.
it. My junior year, I didn't know what I wanted to do with the kines degree because it's kind of like a general studies degree in a sense. You know, you got to pick something afterwards. My grandpa had a stroke, and I was in the hospital with him. And an OT came in, and I asked questions about what they were doing and things like that. And that night, I looked it up, and I saw that an occupational therapist could work with kids with disabilities or special needs. So after that, I actually started trying to do my research in a sense to see how I could apply it to kinesiology and get into the schools. Because at that time, my grandpa had a stroke. I had a cousin, she had cancer, and my aunt had cancer. So I was working 3 jobs trying to take care of my little cousins. I was in the sorority. I was the president of that chapter at that time too. So my GPA was about, I think, when I started to apply to schools, it was probably like a 3.0, in all honesty.
Shit.
Yeah.
I mean, but considering everything you had going on,
Nah,
how was you able to balance
Yeah.
all that out?
It was a lot. It was a lot. But I brought it up. But there was this one teacher. I had told her that I was going to apply to OT school. And she was like, no, I think you should go and do pedagogy. And no disrespect
What,
to
pedagogy? What's that?
PE teacher.
Oh, okay.
So no disrespect to the PE teachers because they deal with a lot and put up with a lot. And, you get the degree. But I was like,
That's
no.
what PE stand for?
Yeah, that's why I was like, what?
No, it's physical education, but that's the basis of it. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't
Your face
even,
was
look,
like
she a
mind
doctor.
blown.
I'm like, I'm not finna argue with the doctor.
For real.
Hey, the
I
doctor.
had never heard the term
That's
before.
that's the term in college.
Okay.
And I
I'm
was
like,
like,
hey,
no.
the doctor said it. It's right.
Wow. Take a sip on that one.
I was like, no, that's not what I'm meant to do. I see more for myself in that instance. So I brought my GPA up, and I applied to probably 6 or 7 schools, but I got accepted to the University of North Dakota. And at that time, they had said that I would get a diversity scholarship. So I was like, okay, let's do it. So 3 days after graduation at LSU, I was sitting in anatomy class in North Dakota.
Dang, you waste no time.
I didn't.
But so, where's the transition to where you focused in on kids? What gave you the...
Like I said earlier, working at the Boys and Girls Club, that was all I knew. And helping raise my little cousins and all that stuff, that's what I wanted to do.
Also, early on, your heart for the helping the kids started then. You just
Yeah.
had other stuff going on to where, and then you realized,
Yeah,
like,
and every job pretty much that I had was dealing with children. I started off at a daycare, then Boys and Girls Club. I did AmeriCorps. Then I worked at something called LSYOU Gear Up, and it was tutoring students on campus at LSU, but they were high school students or at-risk high school students. And then when I went to North Dakota, I worked at the Multicultural Student Center, and I was a graduate assistant there, so I helped everybody in the diversity waiver program there too. So I
Right.
just knew that just helping kids was what I was supposed to do.
so how did it get to the kids with with...
Unique
Special
abilities.
needs.
Right,
Yeah.
right. How did you get to that specific?
I think I've just always had an understanding for that or towards that population because a lot of times they're overlooked in a sense of, like something's wrong with them or, like they're not doing what they're supposed to do, especially the kids that have, the tantrums or things like that in public, and people look at them differently. My view on it was not looking at them differently, but how can I help them?
Right,
So
right.
I think that's what led me to that. Because even in OT school, a lot of, because we graduated with, I think, 32 or 33. But it was probably only like maybe 5 or 6 of us that actually pursued pediatrics. Yeah, so it's just something that I just knew. And a lot of people don't, they say, oh, I don't want to work with kids. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how people work with adults because they are set in their ways.
Right,
It's just not something.
Because I have a cousin who's a bit older than me with unique abilities, and they didn't realize that he was unique until about 3, because he wasn't speaking or anything like that. And I mean, some people call it tantrums, but he was STEM, and he get really excited. And he's now, as time has grown, he's a bigger guy. Like at this point now, he's 6'6". You know what I'm saying? Almost 300 pounds. You know what I'm saying? I love my cousin to death, but he scares people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I have to tell him, hey, calm down, cuz it's good, it's good. You know what I'm saying? And it's been like that since I was a kid. Like, that was the reason why I wanted to learn sign language, so I could communicate with him.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? So a lot of, if you ever see me doing sign language, I actually learned that as a kid.
So you actually know a good, decent amount of sign language?
Decent. You know what I'm saying? I can have a small conversation. I know all my ABCs, you know, thank you, hello, you know what I'm saying? Stuff
Well, I
like
swear
that.
you learn something new about people every day. I never knew this man knew sign language.
Man, I mean, bro, you know.
I mean, I guess it ain't nothing. I mean, maybe we should talk about it. I don't know. I tell people all the time sitting here, I learn stuff about people that I've been knowing my whole life. They come sit down on this couch. I'm like, you do what?
Right.
Nah, I mean, because like it would upset me when we go out and he would STEM and people would get scared of him. And it's like, nah, he human just like you.
Right.
He's just anxious at this moment, or he's scared at this moment. So he's acting out his internal feelings rather than how you clam up. He's letting you know that he's feeling a certain type of way about what he's going through. You know what I mean? Still to this day, he'll come to my house. I cut his hair, you know what I'm saying? And then me and his mom will be sitting talking. I say, Frank upstairs in my closet. I can hear him. He breaking my hangers because that's one of his things. He breaks the hangers and he collects the hangers.
Oh,
It's only the plastic ones. It's only the plastic ones. And he's done this for years. I think Frank is like 45 now. You know what I'm saying? But still, you know what I'm saying? He still breaks the hangers and collects them. It's like the part that's not the hanging part and not the bottom where you hang the pants is just like the little tripod.
He just want that part.
He just want that part. That's it. That's it. So I go up to my restroom and I see like 4 or 5. It's like, so now what I'll do is I'll go to the store when I know he's coming, buy some more hangers and have some extras in there for him to just do his
That's
thing.
what's unique about, people with, like you said, unique abilities. They have, I almost feel like it's superpowers, but we have to just tune into what their superpower is. Yeah, and they do things that we may see as quirky, but it's like they have a cause or a reason for it every time they do.
So before you started your company, when you got your degree and you was looking for a job, where the first place you worked when you was?
I applied a lot of places because I knew I just wanted to work and make as much money as I could because I had goals in mind.
Right.
I applied to hospitals everywhere, but I started out in home health. And a lot of times in school, they'll tell students, don't start out in home health because you're by yourself. You have to handle everything by yourself.
Right.
Which is true. But I feel like it was where I needed to be. And I had to jump into it. But because I had the experience working with children in general, I was able to work with the kids that I had on my caseload pretty well. I always tell people I had my very first client. And they had like a shadow program, but I was like, no, I think I can handle it. So I went with the lady like for maybe like a week and I followed her. but they gave me my own separate caseload. So the people that I had with her weren't on my caseload. I walked into a house. It was dark. The mom was like, "Oh, she's in there." And I could hear her brothers. She has a lot of brothers, and they were all in the back room fighting. I was like, "What am I getting myself into?"
And you was by yourself?
Oh yeah, I was nervous. And you know, the little girl, she was just sitting on the sofa and she was just throwing stuff at me. I was like, "How am I gonna do this?" But I ended up being her therapist for like 10 years.
Wow.
And you know, their
Wow.
family became my family.
Right,
And you know, after working with her, now she's a part of my family. So I
Right,
still
right.
check in on her and stuff like that. So yeah, it was scary, and a lot of new therapists would probably see it as being scary, but
Right,
it's
right.
nothing you can't handle. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Like being a therapist and like being that tapped in with people, does it fear you sometimes of getting too close?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of times, I call them my kids because a lot of the kids that I have were my kids before I actually had kids. So they become your family. So any issue they have or anything that they're going through, you want to help them because you know that they just don't know what to do, and you want to find a way out for them.
Right, right.
So yeah, there have been instances to where I had to pull myself back because I felt like I was too close to them in certain instances. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, because reason I asked that question because working here, like last year, I lost 7 of my kids. Thus far, I've lost 1 this year so far. So, and it's like it begins to take a toll on you. You know what I'm saying? Because you become so connected with these children. You know what I'm saying? Like you see them every day. You know what I mean? Like you can look at a person and tell them they're dysregulated.
Right,
You know what I mean? Like, hey, I know something on your mind. No, I'm good. Well, look here. Just come holler at me for a few minutes. You know what I mean? You get them in the room in solitude, then they'll break down, start crying. And it's like, there's more room out than in. It's okay. It's okay. You're going to make it through this. You know what I mean? But sometimes, like, you don't necessarily see all the signs, and then you don't act on it as you would normally.
Right.
And I think with one child just here recently, it really took a toll on me because I saw some of the signs that she was dysregulated, but I can honestly say with my girls, I don't get as close as I do with my boys because I don't know their traumas that they
Right,
received before meeting me.
Right.
Right.
You know what I
that's
mean?
understandable.
Because sometimes anything could trigger them. The scent of your cologne, you know what I mean? Because you're bald head or with a beard or whatever, you may remind them of someone. So it's like, nah, I choose to be a little bit more hands off. But with hindsight being 2020, I still feel like I could have said something. You know what I mean? I could have been more of an uncle to that person.
Right,
You know what I mean? And it just, it hurts sometimes. That's just why,
does.
that's the reason why I asked that
Yeah.
question.
I think that's a natural feeling, though. I mean,
It
we
is.
all in career fields where we have to deal with people at their worst.
Yeah.
And I go home every night like, dang, I should have did this or I should have
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah.
But at that time, I know for sure, us 3 knowing y'all, we giving it our all most of the time when we there. So,
If I
You
don't
gonna
give
always-
150, I don't feel right.
yeah.
Yeah. And you can't beat yourself up about it because I feel like if you have that type of experience and something tragic happens, it's just preparing you to know what to do if that situation comes across, your path again, and you know how to handle it a little bit better. So you
Right,
just got to
right.
see it as even though you lost a child, and you kind of kick yourself about it, you just have to see it as a learning experience to know how to handle
Yeah.
children in the future that have that same situation.
I think that this experience really more so taught me, like they said in the policy, you know what I'm saying? If you see something, say something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure. You know what I mean? So I think with second guessing, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, like you would have to actually know this person that I'm speaking of to know that this person was a well put together person.
Right.
You know, aesthetically. You know what I'm saying? Like you see, man, and then like towards the end, it was just
Yeah.
like they didn't take care of themselves as well as they was before. And it's like, wow. But I mean, maybe I took it to the point to where maybe they were just going through things personally. And I know myself, when I ain't feeling myself completely, I might not shave.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But this too shall pass. So I was looking at it as one of those type of aspects.
You didn't look at it like a life and death situation.
Right.
Got you.
You know what I mean? So that kind of bothered me when I got that news. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and call it, you know what I'm saying, something else. But, I mean.
How do you deal with it when you either whether they lose their life or you separate from people? I know people move.
Yeah.
People go get, they can't control it, but their family may have to choose other people to do the finance. Like, how do you deal with separating from, especially when you build a connection?
Well, first I want to address, like, in your situation and having situations like that happen, sometimes it makes me think about how I need to readjust myself. Because sometimes I feel like I'm moving too fast. And if I would have just slowed down a little and thought about or kind of saw everything that was happening and took a breath, in a sense, you know, like, and was in tune to myself in that person, I would have seen it a little bit differently. But we get so caught up in working hard and trying to people please and making sure everybody's okay that sometimes we just don't take a step back and breathe and see, okay, well, what's happening with my day? What wasn't right? What wasn't going, you know, how it could have been or should have been? So, like, in those situations, I do think I kind of put it back on myself in thinking I should have slowed down. I should have thought about this in a way and not just reporting it, but, you know, knowing that that person was acting like that, I should have seen it. So I do get how you're feeling, and I have to, like, always think about how I'm taking that into consideration and trying to reevaluate myself and making sure I'm better for the next child and things like that. And dealing with, especially kids with special needs, a lot of my kids, they go in the hospital. So I feel like I'm like a worry wart. Like, I'll text the moms and I'll be like, are they okay? Are they still in the hospital? What's happening? And they'll be like, Sinead, they're okay. Stop calling. So I don't know. I don't think, in all honesty, like, having kids that have passed away, that I don't do well with. And that's why I don't work in a children's hospital, because I know that happens more frequently.
Got you.
So, like, the home health or the clinic-based setting, it doesn't happen as much.
Right.
And when they move away, I still have that connection. You know, I'll still check in. You know, it may not be every month, but I'll still check in with them just to make sure they're okay. But, you know, like, the deaths, I don't do well with those. Yeah, I don't.
I mean, I can honestly say, because I'm a bit of an empath, you know what I mean? Because, like, one that hit me right before my birthday last year, he had just called me like 2 weeks prior to, and I'm in class, and I normally don't answer my phone when I'm in class. But I said, you know, it's my boy. Let me call him, let me answer the phone, see what's up. He was like, hey, Mr. G, man, I was just checking on you, man, you know what I'm saying? Making sure everything's straight, you know, I ain't gonna hold you too long or whatever, you know what I mean? And it was 4 days before my birthday when I found out, you know, he had met his demise. And I was like, he just called me. Like, nah, this can't be, you know? So I looked him up on social media, you know what I mean? And at the time, he hadn't posted anything. So I went on his friends list. And in his friends, you would see RIP, RIP. And that made it so real. And I was like,
because you was in denial at first. Like,
right. Like, this my boy, he just hit me. Like, he literally just called me 2 weeks ago. Yeah. You know what I mean? He was telling me that he was going to go to PV Homecoming. You know what I'm saying? He was going to see me out there. But he ended up going to a Halloween party instead of going to PV Homecoming.
Oh, and he ended up getting...
You know what I mean? And that was one of my favorite kids. I'm not going to lie to you, you know what I'm saying? Like, me and him had a real connection. Like, sometimes he literally come to school just to see me. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. That's what I like the most. Excuse me. That's what I like the most about the impact that you get. Like nothing beat that feeling when people come back to you and they telling you about how grateful they are for you, how they
Nah,
thank
for
you.
real.
And we don't do it for that, but at the same time, you know, it feel good because the hard work and dedication that you put in, and you putting people before yourself,
Yeah.
and to get that,
Feels like you're living your purpose.
right,
Right,
yeah,
right. I mean, living the purpose for life. That's actually a book too. You know what I'm saying? I know when I'm out in the city and I see kids that were with me in detention, you know, they're, hey, Mr. G, man, I just want to let you know, man, I'm doing good. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got in no trouble. You know what I'm saying? I got me a baby on the way. You know what I'm saying? They gotta let me know that. And I'm like, oh man, come on. Like that's one of my main things because I wore many hats throughout my life.
right,
But if I hear Mr. G, I know where you know me from.
Right.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? You know me from this round. Like one of my other kids when I was teaching at Hoffman Middle School, he just sent me a picture on Instagram of him and all the kids that were in middle school. I was like, man, bro, y'all done growed up. Like, that's
ain't gonna
what's
lie,
up.
that's
Like,
crazy, too.
they working in chemical plants and everything like that. They getting to the money.
That's
You know what I mean? Like, I lost one of my kids there. You know what I'm saying? Get him out. You know what I'm saying? RIP to my boy. This kid here was like the funds mixed with like, I mean, bro was quiet. He was like what you would think of a bad kid, but he was quiet and he did all his work and everybody listened to him. Everybody did whatever he said. You know what I'm saying? Like he literally
Like a real
ran
leader, but just in the
a
wrong
real
way.
leader, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he ended up meeting his demise doing a deal in the grocery store parking lot. You know, and it's like, I mean, just doing this line of work, man, I've lost so many children. So, like, when I meet young ladies or whatever, they be like, you got kids? And I'm like, miss, I got 1,000 kids.
Right.
Like, I don't have none of my own personally. I got 1,000 kids running around the city that I've poured into,
Right.
you know what I mean, at some point in their lives, and they'll have some type of appreciation for me. And I think that's my calling on life. Like, I want my funeral to have a bunch of people to just come and show love. And I already told my sister, hey, man, I want you to get up there on stage, tell them, hey, my brother don't want y'all to cry. Y'all already know how he was. Somebody turn the music up. You know what I'm saying? This how we rockin'. Go ahead and have a party. Like, chill. He was a happy person. Like, that's one thing about me. Like, I make sure when I come to work, my energy level is on 1,000 because I'm sharing it.
You have
Well,
to.
so how do y'all deal with resurfacing that energy? Because it can be very tiresome. Like,
It is.
like what do you do? Like, what are some of the practices you do to wake up and do it again the next day?
I think I go into it knowing that whatever I have going on, they have nothing to do with. So I have to be the best self that I can be for them and show them that positive energy because I may be the only smile they've seen that morning or the only person with that happy attitude because at the same time, you know, most of their families, because I work with a lot of kids that are that have services through Medicaid. So sometimes, you know, they don't always have everything they need or, you know, and their parents are working hard and their parents may just be, you know, going through a whole lot. So
Right,
they
right.
may need to see something positive that day because life is hard for them. And even though they're kids with special needs, they tune in and hone into those emotions.
Right, right.
So if they're seeing a positive emotion from me, they start to act in a positive way. So I just go in there knowing that whatever I have going on has nothing to do with them, and I have to be the best missionary I can be.
Yeah.
What about you? What you?
Me, I mean, like, I don't have no kids and nobody at the crib, but I can literally shut myself off to the world and recharge my batteries.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? Like, kind of just go off into that mode. You know what I'm saying? Light a candle, play some chill music. You know what I'm saying? And
So you really
just
just can vibe out.
yeah, Like for real.
I got a whole new life when I go through them doors. I reset from work and then I gotta jump straight into this. Ain't no telling when I open that door.
See, when I do the calming, once I get home, you know what I'm saying? When I'm in the car on my way to work, that's when I'm getting crunk, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get right. I gotta get right. So when I come in, what's happening, family? What's up, baby? What's happening? Yeah, let's do it. They already know. So if I come in dry, good morning. Like, gee, what's wrong?
Yeah.
But if I ever feel like that, I won't come to work.
Right.
I'd rather take a mental day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not feeling good because I'm not myself at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they'll know.
Yeah, they gonna call it out. Man, I know you normally do this and do this. Bro, why is you watching me? God. But I'm in a role model, you know what I'm saying? I'm in that light. So
Right.
they see me at my best at all times. So when they see me, when I'm anything below that,
Yeah.
they want to know what's up.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't want them to worry them with my personal problems. So I just rather not even show up. And my boy tell you, it's rare that I call in. I mean, I may throw one in there. Hey, I can't make it, baby.
So, how did you end up owning your own services after working for people? Like, what put the battery in you to say, you know what, I want to? And how was the transition? Because I know it wasn't easy.
No, definitely not. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My mom had her own consulting business. My uncle has his own business. My aunt has her own daycare. So I kind of knew that I didn't want to work for someone in that, instance.
So the examples were set.
They were.
Gotcha.
They were. When I graduated, I knew that I wanted to work for a company, but I graduated in 2012 from OT school. By top of January 2013, I had already got my business incorporated. So I set the tone, even though I knew I wasn't going to do anything with it. I got the business incorporated.
So you started the business. You was just like, I know I'm gonna do it. Let me just go and get it out the way.
I did. So I didn't start working after I had my daughter. I knew that I couldn't work because at that time I was the OT department supervisor, but I had to do a lot with that position.
Right.
So I was like, well, I need to be somebody's mom, so I may as well just start. And I started out with 3 clients, and now we're well over about, I'd say maybe 250. So
Clients?
Yeah, I didn't know you had that many.
we
Do your
have,
damn thing.
Congratulations. Now,
yeah,
you,
between here and Louisiana, with my
so
company.
You out in Louisiana too.
Yeah. with
So
my-
where's your hub? Houston or Louisiana?
Humble.
Oh, so your hub is in Humble. Okay.
Yeah. We have, I call them the Dream Catchers kids. So we have clients that are just Dream Catchers kids, but I contract with schools
Oh, okay.
here and in Louisiana, and also early steps programs. So
Okay.
our Dream Catchers kids, we have about 100, but with the other contracts we have,
Right,
that's
right.
probably another 150 to 200 kids that we service.
That's amazing. That's
Nah,
amazing.
that's-
Do you plan to take it across the nation?
I would like to. I would.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's been.
Well, you've been doing it. Don't
Nah,
stop
for
now.
real. I think you cut out for it. You made for this.
Thank you, thank you.
Dream Catcher Kids America.
That's it. I like it. I would like to. It's just been hard finding. I work hard, so it's hard to find therapists that have that same mindset. They say nobody really takes care of your business like you do.
Right.
So if they come into the business, I have some great CODAs. Those are the occupational therapy assistants, and they do an amazing job. But at the same time, they can't help me with the evaluations and being able to see those kids and do those evaluations all over. I know they
so
would if
you
they
have
could.
to go to each one and do them yourself.
I gotta do them all.
So why don't you try to bring in an intern and you kind of
Well, I do have students.
Okay.
And students come in and out, but they'll end up travel OT now, it pays a lot. So, whereas with me, they may be making probably like $500 to $600 less a week with travel, plus them being able to stay and sometimes them covering food and things like that. So it works out better for them to do it. So that's why they picked that course instead of working with me. Yeah, but
They want that per diem.
they do.
Yeah.
They do.
What they say, give me my money. Give me my coins.
And
So-
I mean, what's this? Gen Z. Mm-hmm. Gen Z is about that bread.
They
Like
do.
I
They
mean,
don't like to work as much.
yeah.
That's been it. That's the hardest thing. Like I'll
Yeah.
find a therapist and they're like, "Oh, this is too much," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"How?"
Yeah.
So yeah.
They're like, nah, we ain't.
But
I
we
could go-
millennials, so like we were the start of all this technological
Right.
bubble. You know what I mean? So we are used to a bit of paperwork. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We used to writing things out and things of that nature. So, I mean, becoming accustomed to technology, I can see
Yeah.
why they wouldn't want to work as much.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah, when you can get a cash out request for $300, do I want to go to work for $300 or just ask somebody for $300?
nah, for real.
It's-
Post something on social
Post something on
media and
social-
yeah.
It's like,
I mean, I get it. I get it. But how long is that supposed to last?
Right.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And everybody can't be a social media,
Yeah.
guru or
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, I really enjoy social media to a certain extent, but I really think it's beginning to warp our brains as far as communication is concerned.
It is social skills. Yeah.
Yes.
It is for sure. It is.
Yeah, and people. And what I really just don't like about it too is the false reality. Like,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
you're only showing your highlights.
Right.
yeah, and people don't really understand. Like, for instance, her being a business owner and all that. Like, people looking at social media and think it just popped up. You know what I'm saying? No, it was hard work and dedication
Shoot,
that
this
went
what,
into
10,
this.
12 years in the making?
Yeah.
Come on now.
And you can't, and then they get flustered when things not going their way, when in reality, like, put that work in.
Right.
But they don't know how to put the work in because they think, ain't nobody
to
just
come
popping
easy.
their stuff because of one day. Like,
Right.
it took a lot of time, a lot of sacrifices. I do want to say, you speaking on something, before I forget, I do want to thank you and commend you, because one thing that we all do is we do something that we very passionate about. And I know with my experience with you is our son is part of your Dreamcatcher Kids. And when I knew your company and you was something special was sometimes the random reasons, the insurance, because I was an EMT too, so I understand when I was an EMT, picking people up, insurance will just kick you off. Well, you have some people who own business, and I try to tell people this, even with me doing what I do, sometimes I go places and don't make as much. But if I've been working with you and dealing with you for a while, pay me what you can. I know, but she is one of the ones where she don't just jump off the bandwagon. She like, I know things gonna figure itself out. I even help you figure it out, because my passion is not just for the money, it's for the kids.
Right.
And that's probably why your business is flourishing the way it is, because people don't understand that it's not always about the money instantly. Sometimes you got to plant that seed with, like, the universe as well, knowing the good person you are and the good business that you're running, and also with the community. And because not only that, when you do stuff like that, people spread your name. Like,
Right.
this is a real person. This is a real business. They actually love what they do and all that. But yeah, I just want to throw that out there. Like, it has been times where, not just us, like, I've heard of times, multiple times, where you could have stepped back and been like, ain't no money, I'm out. But you're like, nah, we're going to figure it out. We're going to work it through. And I feel like your business is profiting and going well simply because of the love and the soul that you have towards what you do.
Thank you.
And
I appreciate
I
that.
just had to throw that out there real quick, because
I
when
do.
you brought up the insurance part, I was like, man, I know that get real.
It does.
You know what I'm
It does.
saying? It's like, ain't no money, What?
It
I ain't
does.
coming over there no more. And me being when I was an EMT, I worked for a bunch of different ambulance companies, private ambulance companies. We literally go every day, pick somebody up, and then one day you like, hey, today Wednesday, such and such go to dialysis. Oh, their insurance ain't kicked in.
Right.
So we just gonna like we ain't gonna take them. They have to, I work for company. They like we not getting paid. We not going to get this person. We not or you know what I'm saying. Like
Right.
you have let me see, like you have the city, like let's say HFD, like they can't turn somebody down technically. They can't. It's an emergency. But private ambulance companies can be like, no money, shh, call another one. You know what I'm saying?
That's
That
crazy.
private sector business is different. Like what she do is more individually, privately owned. So it's like if the money ain't right, hey, I'm out. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
So
right.
I tip my hat off to you and I thank you for that. And at your congratulations ceremony, I seen a lot of people was there, and that speaks volumes too. When a lot of people that show up for you and they got the same story, like
Thank you.
you know, she helped me out, and you know, and all that. I do have a question too. Like, what's the longest you've dealt with one person? Like,
Your baby is one of my longest.
for real?
Uh-huh.
Wow. Hey,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
hey. To
he
see, that's
is.
what I'm saying.
Nah, that's the homie, dog. Like for real. And you know how I felt about the homie,
Yeah,
dog.
nah, for real.
From first meeting, it's like, bro, I really like your attitude. And then some days he'll come in, like he'll let you know, no, I'm not.
Yeah. Like
Come
if he
on,
want
bro.
like if he want his haircut, he'll be like, hey, take me to my boy.
Yeah.
You know, he'll come get you, hey, and he'll bring him. But if it's one of them ones where we want him to get it cut and we take him, no, I ain't,
For
no.
He's
real.
one of my favorites. He is. He is. I always tell the story. I remember when he was little, I would go to his other grandma, and she would be outside. He just ran off, so I would be running after him in the apartment complex, trying to get him to come back in the house because he would wait for me outside. But sometimes I would take too long with
Right.
traffic and stuff, so he just take out running like as if he would find me. So I'd have to run in the apartment complex and go find him. And, you know, I could always see him, but like thought it was a game
Right,
eventually. So
right.
yeah, he's been my favorite since the first time I met him, like he said. And he's come such a long way. He
Yeah,
really
nah,
has.
for real, for
He
real.
really
Yes.
has.
Yeah, nah, for
But
real.
that's what my aunt calls it, unique abilities. You know what I mean? Because she used to would call him, you know, special needs, special education. But nah, like he's a very unique person. Like it's only one individual just like him. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
yeah.
So you can't. I think that's the perfect term for it, and I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue to use that.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good one.
when you used it earlier, I penciled it in.
It's a good one.
And I didn't know how many people was dealing, because you don't know how many people dealing with it till you dealing with it, and
Right.
then you start talking to different
Nah, for
people,
real.
and then you like, wow, you know, it's a lot of people.
Nah, bro, it's a lot of people in the world. Bro, think about it like, okay, you in school, they have classrooms with people with unique abilities, but once you graduate high school, we all in one big old bucket, man.
That's it.
You know
That's
what I'm
funny,
saying?
but it's true. Nah, that's
Nah, for
100%.
real. You know what
Nah.
I'm saying? Then they procreate with other people with unique abilities, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, some of that stuff is genetics.
Nah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, like dealing with, you know, I feel bad now, you know, but kids gonna be kids. But I'm like, man, you know, like I never was a bully or I never
Yeah.
was mean, but it was clearly like y'all over there, me and my people over here. But now that I'm dealing with, I be like, I don't like the disassociation. I be ready to fight. Like I be mad. Like
real
if I
talk.
come to the park, like, cause it's like a 5-minute window. Like when they come, they'll start off playing and all that. Then once they realize, you'll slowly see them kind of like, like, no, play with my boy. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying?
To
Yeah.
your point, I think earlier you had asked how I got to that. In elementary, I was kind of like that. I was the person that would want to help the kids in the other classes because of how everybody else treated them. So I think it's important for kids to learn that at a young age and not see see them as a problem or an issue, but see them as different, and you just
Right,
have to
right.
interact with them differently.
Right,
Like
right.
for instance, right now I'm actually working on another children's book to the point to where the kids are at the park
Mm-hmm.
and they're interacting with the child with the communication board.
Oh, so that's actually a topic that you
Hold
want
on,
to
hold
address
on.
in
So
your-
you're an author too?
Yes, I am.
What?
Wait,
Hey,
first
this lady is
author.
amazing, y'all. This lady is amazing.
And she slid the second book. I ain't even get to address the
seen
first
it?
book.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For
We moving
real.
too slow.
Yeah, I like
Quick
that.
conversation with King Dreams
We ain't moving fast enough.
we not quick. We over here moving slow.
For
So all right. So
real.
you have a book. What led you to writing a book?
That topic of conversation in itself, understanding that children with these unique abilities need to be heard and it needs to be seen, and kids need to know how to interact with them in different instances.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, for real. I mean, we probably need a class on teaching regular people how to deal with other people.
Nah, that is very needed. Like honestly, I've shown, even with me being in law enforcement, I've shown people how to deal with other people because one, I deal with kids at home with
Right.
it. So when I'm going and dealing with kids, I'm like, okay, I can quickly identify
Right.
with it or understand
Right,
it. But
right.
if you never dealt with it before,
don't
never had it, like you don't know how to identify with it, and you may not have the same love, compassion, and understanding for
Yeah.
it. So you just like, hey, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes people don't know how to point it out.
Right.
You know,
I
it
can see that.
is this person, like on some type of special needs spectrum or unique ability, or is this person just, doing dumb stuff, acting crazy, like,
Right,
but no, more
it's-
people need to.
And it's important, like you had mentioned, your cousin, he's 6'6", and he goes in, social situations or public situations, and they don't know that, he has special needs, and they're treating him a certain way, but he may not understand. He can't tell you, what he
Right.
wants to. So you need to be able to point
Yeah.
that out and know when, it's someone like that you have to approach it a little bit differently.
Have you ever had any of your kids? So how many of your kids became adults?
I've had quite a few.
Have you had any of your kids go to jail?
No, because their parents are proactive
Okay.
in those situations.
Right.
So, like, I have had kids that are actually, taller or bigger than me. But when those instances happen, though, their parents know who to call and know what's happening. Or when they go to different social situations, they'll kind of forewarn people in a sense of, my child has special
Right.
needs. They may do this, or while they're doing it, they'll just say, okay, this is what's happening. So my parents that I work with are very well versed in being able to advocate for their kids. So I haven't had anybody, thankfully.
Well, the reason I asked that, because unfortunately I have had to take a few to jail, and I have a few specifically where I felt bad. But,
Yeah.
I mean, my job at certain times is like, my discretion is heavy, and if I can articulate that this person is, but like you say, some people haven't done the right steps to have it documented legally, or sometimes I don't find out to the tail end, or sometimes it's like you could tell this person wasn't taken care of properly, and now they done did something to the
Right.
point where it's like the judge got to decide, not us. So it's like, so I got one specifically where I really, it was a young lady, and but she had a warrant for her arrest, and I clearly could tell she was on, had unique disabilities, but she had a warrant for assault on an officer. And I'm like, man, I know ain't no other officer put a warrant out on this girl, because ain't no way I would have did it. But,
Right.
I don't know the whole circumstances to that prior, but me talking to her, me being there with her, like, even talking to her mom was like, man, do what you got to do, you know what I'm saying? But that's why I asked you that, because, I mean, that's the hard part about my job sometimes,
And I know what some parents are doing now. some kids will have like bracelets and they'll say, like
Yeah.
autism or,
Yeah.
like whatever
Yeah.
their
Right,
disability is or special need is.
Yeah.
So that if something happens like that in a situation or if they're ever by themselves, they know that this
Right,
person
right.
has something that we need to address a little bit differently.
That helps too. That helps. That
But
definitely
see,
helps.
working in the field that I'm in with juveniles, some parents are in denial about their children's
I
unique
bet.
abilities. And when they come into the facility, we can kind of see it.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you really paying attention to your child? Because I mean, like,
Right.
all the signs are here. You know what I mean? Their intellectual disabilities, you know what I mean? Like their social disabilities. And then sometimes like the sensitivities to certain things, you know what I mean? Like the touch and all that. It's like
It's a
you,
thing.
you don't realize this person is somewhere on the spectrum.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing as a parent? Or are you in like that much denial that you may have birthed a person that's like this? But I mean, it's nothing against you.
Right. Right.
And I think that's what a lot of people need to come to the realization of. You know what I mean? Like, nah, it's not nothing against you. It's just that this person was born with some unique abilities.
Yeah.
And they need to be taken care of in a unique way.
Right.
Do you have to coach that to people sometimes?
Yeah. I think the hardest times is when it's a friend or somebody that, I know they know or, they, like
Like
you
a
said, they're in
personal
denial.
connection.
Yeah. And just, kind of saying, okay, well, let's just do this test or, maybe just go through with what they're proposing and see what happens. But I think too, sometimes it's a bit of denial, but also like our social norm. Like we don't want to, believe that, or we don't want to say that, or we don't want other people to see that our child may be like that, or how is it going to look on us? It's going to be a reflection of us. So they may be in denial in a sense, but also embarrassed because they know that something isn't right and they don't want to get the help that they should get.
So what is your advice on that?
It's not about them. It's about
It's about that child.
Yeah.
Because,
You gotta
bro, like,
remove yourself.
and there used to be a 7th floor when I was in detention, and the 7th floor was kind of dedicated to kids that had, unique abilities and, you know what I'm saying, or psychiatric issues and things of that nature. And I think they relocated it to HCPC for a little while, which is off of McGregor.
Okay.
And now I think they put it back in detention, but it's on a different floor. It's no longer on the 7th floor. But, bro, you would actually see these kids and you'll be like, oh, this is for real. Like, I knew of a couple people, you know what I'm saying, with my cousin and all that, but to actually get in close confines with multiple people like this, like you have to do a reality check and say, you know what, I'm appreciative for the person that God created me to be.
For sure.
Yeah. It's very humbling. I'm be honest with you.
Nah, for real. 'Cause I know it was one kid, he would just literally pace around his room, like the perimeter of his room,
All day.
all day. That's all he did, all day. He'll come out, he'll eat, go back in his room, walk on the perimeter. Like, it's different types of...
And I ain't gonna lie, and that's the coldest part about it, just, knowing people are in jail with those type of...
Imagine how many people in adult jail that's like that, bro.
Yeah, that's...
No, like, for real. You know what I'm saying? That really haven't fully been assessed. You know what I'm saying? And people are manhandling them and, you know what I'm saying, treating them all kind of ways.
I took a class about like a week long for dealing with mental health at work. And a lot of the older guys that was in there that been in law enforcement, let's say 15, 20 years, 25 years.
But shoot, you can get a person to opt out for a crime that they didn't even commit if they like that, bro.
Well, so a lot of them guys were saying there was a point of time where they wouldn't even deal with them. They'll like literally throw them on the back of an ambulance and just let the ambulance deal with them. But the thing is, the hospitals and the ambulance, they got tired of cops showing up. Oh, he, and
Yeah.
you know, and so they created a system where, all right, if it's a crime been committed or if it's too much for us, law enforcement, y'all figure it out. Like, don't dump them on us.
That's crazy.
But I kind of, you know, the old way is kind of a little shady because I used to be an EMT too. I'm like, I don't want to pull up and just deal with this. But at the same time, I'm like, it got to be some type of, you know, middle ground, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, we work, and I know as a society and a lot of people I talk to, we fighting to try to, even like what's going on here, trying to not just put criminal on people that don't, because the thing is culpable mental state. Did you understand what you did was, you know, that's kind of where, you know, to charge someone, we have to know that, you know, but trying to balance it out, because especially with the way we eating, the medications, I don't know, something in the air, like it's not a problem that's dying out, you know, it's definitely it's growing. And I know I deal with mental health and I deal with people with unique disabilities all day, like honestly 90% of my day and I ain't gonna say, sometimes people think they not crazy and I'm like, no, I'm here and I get to talking at the bar, I'm like, dang, no. But like you say, they grew up and they done had kids and now they got a family. And I'm like, oh yeah, you know, it's like.
But name one crazy person that admit that they crazy.
I ain't crazy. I ain't crazy.
Somebody might be in denial.
But yeah, I really, you know, hoping. All right, so
Look, you want to change the whole subject. Yeah.
So I went to your award ceremony of when you got your doctorate. How was that? Like, what led you to get that? Because I know my boy stopped at a master's, you know, and my hat goes off to him. But to get a doctorate.
Well, my mom has a doctorate in pharmacy. So I was like, well, my mama
So
set
once
the tone.
again, okay, so the example was set.
Set that boy real high.
Yeah, leave it to her. But I knew that it was something that I wanted to take a step further because it's part of her story. You know, it's part of our history. So,
Gotcha.
you know, being able to say, you know, my mom's a doctor and my daughter can say my mom's a doctor, you know, and I knew that public health was something that I wanted to go into.
Gotcha.
A lot of people with the OT degree, they'll do like an OT doctorate, but I was like, I'm already doing everything that I really can as an OT.
Right.
So I'd rather do something else to where I feel like I can help the community, and I kind of focused it around possibly starting to get grants because he's going to make a face, but I started a nonprofit, and the nonprofit is catered toward children and families, or, you know, mothers and families.
Right.
So I want that public health doctorate to be able to help me succeed in getting the grants and helping the community as much as I can. In doing that, I feel that learning what I had to learn in the public health track, as far as in school, I was able to learn, like I did research.
Right.
My capstone was about the perceptions of healthcare workers for maternal mothers, so pregnant mothers, upon admission to facilities, whether it's a hospital or community-based family planning programs.
Right.
And just to see like what people's notions were with minority women, whether they're Black women, Hispanic, Native American women, because we are still dying, you know, at the rate of 3 times higher
Right.
than our counterparts. So just seeing like how their attitudes and things were towards them, it just shows that that's like my second purpose, because I want that awareness to be out. And, the doctorate is just like the icing on the cake. I
Right,
got to
right.
do something that I love, doing, and I wanted to research because personally, I almost died twice having my kids.
Wow.
So because they didn't believe me, and they weren't listening to me, so I had to advocate for myself. So I can only imagine how many
Right.
other women, died because they didn't believe that what they were saying was actually true. So being able to be a part of that force and advocating for these women and having these programs to where it helps not only educate them but provide resources is something that I want to focus on with my nonprofit and having that experience in public health.
Right, right.
Dang, I mean, and it's more to it, bro. It's more to it. I mean, golly. Sheesh, Wonder Woman in the flesh. So, okay. Your mother set the bar high, but did she have that expectation for you, and do you have those expectations for your babies?
She didn't necessarily say that she has an expectation for me, but I know she did. So
Like an undertone.
it was. It was always like, you got to live up to your potential. You're doing
Right,
this,
right.
but you can go further. So she's always encouraged me in a sense to where I knew I had to push myself a little bit further. But it was never like she's expecting me to do it. So as far as my kids, I'm trying to set the tone to where they're kind of like me. They want to do better. They want to keep going. They want to be able to be, this person that people thought that it would never happen for them.
Right.
So and it's not so much I'm expecting them to do it, but I want to put them in the situations and provide the opportunities for them to see that they can do better and be better.
Right,
I
right.
can dig it. Cause I really didn't listen. I didn't aspire for a PhD until I was in grad school, and the guy who was my mentor at the time, he told me that it would make me unmarketable in my realm. So I was like, okay. I was like, man, I want to wear that hat.
What, he told you getting it would make you unmarketable?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dang, that's cold.
Yeah.
I mean, because I get it in one aspect, but in another aspect, it's like, who are you to tell somebody not to chase that?
I mean, bro, it made it hard for me even with the master's degree.
Yeah, it's true. That's why I said I have to create my own.
Yeah.
Because it's hard for me to get something because it's like, oh, you're too qualified.
Yep.
Yeah, he talk about that all the time. I don't have no degree, so I'm qualified for everything. It's like, come on.
Nah, bro, but it sucks to get a denial letter saying that you're overqualified.
That's basically what it say in so many words, or it's just straight like that.
You're overqualified.
That's crazy.
Like, how can you have too much education? Like, I just want to do what I love to do.
When the person that's hiring got less
Exactly.
less than you, yeah, we ain't finna deal with him.
Exactly. And then the cap and gown changed too. Oh man, the gown looks so.
Yeah.
Ooh, got
It looks-
that velvet on there. Man, I wanted. I might still shoot for it.
Yeah,
I ain't
gonna
gonna
do
lie
it.
to you.
Here
If
go
I
your
don't,
motivation right here.
if I don't get it in urban planning, I'm really thinking
Almost
about
did
getting
that.
it in
Y'all almost did urban
sociology.
planning. That's what he really wanted to do.
almost did it.
What made you not do the urban planning?
Having the kids and seeing how women were treated. Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Almost did it though.
I might do it. I might do it in sociology though, because I love, people, gathering and all that. I like to understand more what brings people together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Social dynamics and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I mean,
I think you should go and jump out
You
there.
should.
Dr. G douche. Dang. Got a nice little ring to it.
Why not? What else are you gonna do?
Yeah. True. True.
Dang, that's cold, yeah.
You see how she kind of threw that out there? What the hell she
You ain't
gonna
doing
do?
nothing with your life.
See, nah, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's always been a woman that put a key in my back, bro. I promise you,
Yeah.
because I remember one time I was dating this young lady and we was out on the verge of breaking up. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I was staying with her in her apartment and all that. She said, "What you gonna do? Go home to your mama?" You just cut me deep. I ain't let her know it right then. I said, you know what? I'm going to stay with my grandmother. Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't going to my mama this time. Ha!
But ever since then, I've been having my own.
That's it.
Ever since then. So I
Boy, that's cold.
appreciate you, Dr. B.
Yeah.
That's all you can do is just keep rising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's next for you?
See?
I don't know. Getting this nonprofit off the ground where I want it to be. Yeah.
So you going to take that nationwide? Because, I mean, you really could take your practice across the nation, Dr. Jones. I ain't going to lie to you, mama. Like, I mean, with the type of person that you are, we need more people in the world just like you.
Yeah.
And
Facts,
if you
facts.
can, like, make a carbon copy and place them in different places, you know what I
Right.
mean? I think it'll be great.
Thank you. I'm going to try.
No.
I'm going to do.
There you go.
That's it.
There you go.
Just like you're going to get that degree.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Make it happen.
Make sure you at the graduation.
I will
then.
be.
All right,
be.
Drew.
Yeah.
You heard her say.
I'm gonna bring her with me.
All right.
We
I'm going to have the
coming.
shirts on.
Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna have our Keep It Peace shirts on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to say, she made me do it. For real. Just like little mama, I'm telling you, she don't know. I ain't going to say who she is. If she listening, yeah, you did this. You created this monster. For real.
Hey, man.
But I love where I am in life, you know what I mean? I would love to continue to pursue more education because it provides motivation for the kids that I work with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to actually, you know what? I wouldn't mind doing it just to show the kids that I'm going through the
possible.
same thing
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I'm
it's
dealing
part
with
of
life.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just keep getting better and better.
Yeah. So I might start looking at. I know TSU has the urban planning program, but I have not looked at any sociology programs, and I actually got accepted into TSU's urban planning doctorate degree. I actually got accepted. I just
What
didn't.
you didn't.
But
go
that
for
was
it?
years ago. That was years ago. Like, bro,
Okay.
I just didn't pursue it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, because it was okay. I got into grad school by the cusp. I'm dead serious. I didn't know I graduated with my undergrad degree.
I ain't gonna lie, that's funny when he called me and was like, bro, I graduated. I'm like, what? He like, I didn't even know. I'm in the dorm room. They called me talking about why I ain't at practice or rehearsal. I'm like, how you graduated and didn't know? I just been going, man. I just go to class.
I just go. I just
show
do what
up.
I'm supposed to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is who running America.
Hey, man. I mean, and
He like,
got
just
accepted
go.
into grad school within a week. You know what I mean? I got my 3 letters of recommendation. I wrote my paper and all that. You know what I mean? And I did the same thing for the PhD program. And then I got the news from my mentor. Then come to find out, he ended up going for the same program and got into the school. So I was like, excuse me, maybe he was thinking I was going to be his competition.
Oh, so he told you not to go, but he went.
Oh, that's what he told. Oh, that was that person.
Hit you.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Even with the 52 fake
Yeah.
out. But then, if I think about it,
2 points.
right.
A
But
little stupid. I know.
but you got to think, bro, I was in my early 20s and he was
Yeah.
in his 40s at the
Yeah,
time.
nah, old school got you.
He hit me with the okie doke.
School got you.
It's okay.
But it
Wasn't
ain't
your
too
time.
late. Yeah, yeah.
Now it is.
It wasn't. You're right. You're
Now
right.
it is.
Yeah, school got you. He hit you with the okie doke.
Nah, for real.
I ain't finna watch him shine. Talk
Man,
him out
that
of it.
made me kind of upset.
What they
thinking
say,
about it.
Thinking about it, huh?
tricked you out your spot.
You're gonna go further than he did.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about
yeah,
it.
Yeah. Tricked you out your spot. So you say you're gonna write another book?
I actually started that one about children working or playing with a child in the park with a communication board, and the other my daughter right now, she's in the 4th grade, and I think that's the age where kids start to bully and talk about one another. So this book is going to focus more on being kind
Right,
and
right.
doing things. It's a chapter book, so they'll get to see different situations with kids with special needs or that unique abilities.
Right, right.
That they can help out in school and be able to foster those relationships and friendships,
Right, right.
even if that child is a little bit different than them.
That's gonna be.
Have you ever thought about getting her to assist you in writing a book?
Yeah, they actually do.
Yeah.
So the
Do you
first
give them
book,
credit?
huh?
Do you give them credit?
The first book, it was it's called You're Invited, and it was actually I made them twins. They're 16 months apart, but they were actually having a birthday party, and they went around and they were inviting all of the kids, and I used a lot of the kids that are a part of the Dreamcatchers kids. I used their names in the book. And tried to make the kids look like them in a sense. So it was my 2 kids going to invite all of their other friends to the party. And at the end, they had a party, and everybody had, they had headphones or they might have been in a wheelchair. I had to make it look
Right.
look the part for the book. So they played a part in that. And then these 2 books, they're actually giving me the ideas on the situations and how they would handle it. So I'm writing it based off
So
of.
your books, where can people find your books at?
You're Invited is on Amazon.
Oh, so Amazon.
And also the Walmart. It's on there too.
Oh, okay.
And these 2 books, I'm actually
Digital
gonna,
or hard copies as well?
both.
Oh, okay.
And these 2 books, I'm actually going to self-publish because in the process of writing that first book, I learned exactly what I had to do
Right.
to publish my own. So I'm going to do that.
Oh yeah. You learn.
That's what's up.
Learning.
Do you think this whole little old, what is it? The DEI?
Oh.
You think that's kind of going to affect it? I mean, just because I mean, you got Amazon, Walmart, and Target in that.
Yeah. I actually thought about that the other day. I was like, well, because my characters are always diverse in the books.
Right.
So I was like, should I make 2 versions? Should I, make it, to cater
Right.
to what America has turned into or is turning into? Or should I just stay firm in who I am and keep my characters diverse? So, like I said, I thought about it and I was like, no, I'm going to just keep them the way they are because we need to see it.
Right.
And,
Keep it what's true to you.
and hopefully I get the support, from people buying it in the future. And the chapter book, it won't have many pictures, but it'll be characters with names that may be
Right.
a little diverse. But
Shaniqua.
we might have one in there. My name is Shanae, so
For real.
yeah. But yeah, I have thought about that, and it's disheartening. It
I
really
mean,
is.
it's definitely something to take into consideration because I love Walmart. I mean, I hate to say it, you know what I mean? But to say that they're not going to be, diverse and being inclusive, it's like,
Wait, I missed something. Then what do you mean?
well, I mean, due to the way that the political structure is going, certain corporations have chosen to opt out of the diverse and including minorities and other individual groups along in their business structure.
Right.
Like bringing
I mean, that's even with the
That's-
goods that
that's-
they sell.
that's products. That's as far as employment.
I got I understood the employment part, but I didn't know that mean even with products and goods, they like,
Yep.
Yeah.
okay, it's getting real out here. Okay,
It is.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
it is what it is.
Hey,
Affirmative
man.
action, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying, is just ended.
Okay.
It's scary.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, we're going to see what the next few years bring, I mean,
Find a house in another country. I don't know.
I said that on a couple episodes. Like, I've always thought about living in other countries. And as long as I have the ability to create revenue here in the United States, I think that I could possibly live somewhere else
Yeah,
because
that's what I said. As long as I can get, like, I don't have to physically be here to
Right.
make the revenue,
Yeah.
then I can go somewhere else and live good.
Yeah.
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 I mean, but then you have to look at, you know what I'm saying, the alternate currencies, you know what I'm saying, like digital realm, you know what I'm saying, Dogecoin, Bitcoin and stuff like that, you know what I mean? XPR, XRP, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's multiple ways.
Do you dibble and dabble?
I do. Yeah.
He be talking about, I don't know what he be talking about.
I be trying to pull him in because I've been playing with it for a little while, and I'm kind of I ain't gonna say I'm somewhere between ankle and knee deep. I haven't completely
got to the waist
submerged
yet.
myself
I
into
haven't
it,
either.
you know. But it's definitely it's interesting, and what I've gotten into is dividend, you know, paying stocks.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I encourage everyone to kind of look off into businesses, you know, look off into different dividend stocks, penny stocks, REITs. You know what I'm saying? I love REITs because REITs pay on a monthly basis. You know what I mean?
Talking about the crackers? Ritz?
No, real estate investment trust.
Understood.
Yeah.
I don't be on that at all. He tried to tell me, I ain't gonna lie. He
But
be
that's-
trying to.
but
Somebody
that's
else is
what-
thinking that, so it's okay.
But that's
Hey, we
why
broke
that's
it
why
down
that's why
for
we
you.
on here.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna ask that. I need to
Nah.
know.
For sure.
He be
As
trying
you
to
should,
tell me.
as you should. You know what I'm saying? So risk pay on a monthly basis. You know what I'm saying? As far as dividends is concerned,
Gotcha.
like you have other companies that pay quarterly, but you know what I'm
want
saying?
that.
Yeah,
Keep it coming. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. And the more you buy, the more they'll pay out. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
They'll pay per stock. You know what I'm saying? Some may pay 50 cents, some may pay, you know what I'm saying, $1. But depending on what it is and how much you put in, the more you get out of it.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Look at that. We just dropping gems all over the floor.
There we
you know
go.
what I'm saying?
Hey, man, pick them up.
Yeah. Well, shoot. I mean, I don't want to hold you too much longer, Dr. Jones. I ain't going to lie. I
Yeah,
know
she
you're
a
a
doctor.
busy
Got-
lady.
yeah,
You
got-
feel me?
got
I
stuff
mean,
to
is
do.
there anything you want to add, share with the public? You know what I mean? Your social handle for your business so people can tap in because we trying to get, I'm definitely trying to get you nationwide. I ain't lying. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? From Timbuktu to Kalamazoo.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know the good work she done put in for our family. So, I mean, I think the world need to experience and touch this greatness.
Thank you. It's easy with families like yours, though. So thank you.
Well,
I
appreciate it. We thank you. I mean, because I do know that, like I say, because I've had people come to me asking me questions. I'm like, why you want to know that? Oh, because now I have, a kid with special disabilities or something. So, and people need that help or need that care or need that compassion or need that knowledge. So it's a world that regardless on how they want to change stuff, this is a world. I don't care what color, whatever, where you from. This is a universal issue.
Oh, yeah, facts.
Anybody can have a special needs family member or kid, uncle, sister, brother, and how you treat these people and how you care for them. And like y'all was saying earlier, they know when something right and ain't right, but a lot of them are not in control to make the
Right.
changes to go out and like I know my son, like that's one of the things that hurt me the most. He can't tell me what's wrong. Sometimes I can kind of figure it out off of normal actions and stuff, but sometimes I just don't know. So even with me being in law enforcement, I can't tell 100% of the time when a person is being abused. If they don't have visible injuries, because it's different abuse, it's just not physical, you know what I'm saying? I can't always tell when somebody is being abused, maybe mentally or maybe verbally or maybe not getting fed properly, clothed properly. I can only tell for that time frame. But I'm saying all that to say, I know your care and compassion for what you do with the kids and the families. Like you don't just stop at the child. You don't just stop at the family. Like even with your story was saying how you was chasing my son around, like you got some people like, I ain't doing all that. You know what I'm saying? Like if he ain't here, his mama ain't here, whatever the case, I'm done. Like this ain't something that, and you have those, they just die for the money. And that's a career where you gotta be more involved than just the money. You know,
Yeah.
money gonna come, but it don't, start with just the money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just had to get my little spill like too, just to appreciate you. And I know what he do, he don't do it just for the money. Like he really walk around here, you know, dealing with these
Their
kids,
lives.
their family. Like he really put it all on the line, and it means a lot to them. Like I be seeing the interactions. I had a kid walk up to me the other day. I didn't recognize him at first. He like, you know me through Mr. G. And I'm like, huh? I was working like an extra job somewhere, and the little kid walked up to me, yeah, you know me through G. And, and I was like, and then when he walked out, I said, oh, yeah. But that's the groundwork that he put in.
Right.
These kids, they really look up to him.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them bigger than me, so they look down.
That's happening. I'm not used to it. It's happening.
And these kids, man, it's some big old kids nowadays, man. I don't know what they put in these. Oh, that's that GMO.
Yeah. So I do have a question too. So like, what kind of services do y'all have like for like, because most of the people you deal with, their mentality is way younger than what their actual age is. So like, what kind of, like, for instance, I had a guy that was driving a golf. So this is the story. So he was driving a golf cart on the street. I mean, technically that's illegal. So a bunch of cars swerving and all that. So I'm like, man, let me see. Pull him over. He like, I'm like, what you doing? And clearly I could tell that he, didn't have it. He like, well, he had a job or whatever, but and I'm coming from work, and I'm like, well, why you in a golf cart? He's like, I don't have a driver. I can't get a driver. I don't have a car, so, but I need a way. I got a job. This is basically how I get back and forth to work. So I followed him. Like, I made it my duty every day to, when I got to work, I gave my personal number. I'm like, bro, when you get out of work, call me, because these cars do not care about you. They going to hit you, run you over. They don't care at all about you having disabilities, trying to get. And I followed him home, met his family, and then every day I go to work, I would literally follow him home. He'll call me, hey, I'm about to get off work. And if I wasn't on another call or had something else going on, I'd pull up, follow him home. But, like, when your children hit adult age, like, do you have resources to help them transition to, like, college or getting a driver's license or?
Well, I don't even think I said it. My company is called Dreamcatchers Therapy and Wellness Services. We service children birth to 21. So when kids are kind of in that stage of possibly getting a driver's license or maybe wanting to get a job, part of the therapy is to help them with what we call our IADLs, and that's instrumental activities of daily living. So we'll help them during the session do the things for their daily routine. So whether it's filling out a job application or understanding or processing or understanding the executive functioning it takes to actually get a driver's license, to prepare for their test, we help them with those steps and being able to complete that. If they take medication, understanding how to, count their medication, put it in their, little medication box, things like that. Being able to learn how to maybe make simple meals, so they can be independent and possibly live by themselves or in a group home.
Right.
So we help them as they get older with those needs. In the company, we offer not only occupational therapy services, but now we've merged to case management. So the case managers will be able to help them get the resources that they need. Because like you said and I said earlier, it turns into, I'm always trying to help them and give them the resources. So as the OT, I was almost their case manager, and I was, giving them what I've found in the community or things or events or programs they can be a part of, so that they're prepared for the next step in life.
Right.
So now, thankfully, with the case management, we'll be able to have those resources in place,
Gotcha.
and that families can use for their child's future.
So it is resources.
I think I might got a customer for you, a client for you, but he's my customer. I cut his hair, but I think he just turned 21.
Oh, okay.
Dang, can you slide my boy in there, please? Because his big brother, you know what I mean? He really wants him to step out and start doing his own thing, but his mother kind of holds him back a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when I'm talking to him, when I'm cutting his hair, you know what I'm saying? He was like, hey, quick, man, gotta give me a job quick. You know what I'm saying? So I give me a girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he trying to get life popping.
Right.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because he loved going to Ojos Locos. You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, hey, quick, you think that they're going to talk to him? I say, yeah, she going to talk to you. She going to be nice to you and everything, but that's her job.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think so? Think she like me? I mean, it's her job to be nice to you. I don't necessarily just know. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, make sure you definitely tell him though. Make sure it's wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, he doesn't advance like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
He gets excited about it.
Nah, because I had a situation like that. You know, because I deal with it, you know, I understand. Like, I've seen my son trial and error do some little. I'm like, but, you know, and we had to explain to people, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? They like, oh, okay. But nah, I had a case where a guy seen a girl he liked and just, but she wasn't, she didn't know the guy, wasn't cool with it. Flipped out, called us, we get there. She just, like, felt so, of course, as a woman, she felt violated.
Right.
But once I talked to him, like, because the guy didn't leave, he stood there. He thought everything was cool, and I'm like, man, clearly, he ain't.
But he
Yeah,
saw somebody do that.
But well, once I ended up getting in touch with his mom or whatever, she was like, his brothers had recently just came down here from college, took him out. She was like, take him with y'all, you know, let him get. She was like, I don't know where they went, what they did, but you know what I'm saying. And I'm assuming he come back, he's still lit.
He turned up.
And you know what I'm saying? And then I had to explain to him, like, hey, you need to kind of slow it down, talk to them, see if they even want to talk to you first.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? But
see, because my cousin, like, what he used to always do was ask my Uncle Frank for a couple extra dollars so he can get this girl he liked at school. You know what I'm saying? A soda or something. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's all through learned behaviors and activities. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had to see somebody do that for him to act like that, bro. They just don't naturally move like that, bro.
Yeah.
And I noticed that when I was, I substitute taught some second grade unique abilities individuals, and it was like, the little girl, she came in the class, it was her birthday, and the boy that likes her bought her a card, and his mom had put some money in there for her, and she go and show it to the boy that she liked, and he looking. It's like, oh, wow, they're really people too. Like, even at that age, I was like, wow, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, I don't care. I ain't worrying about what none of y'all got going on. You like me. I'm like, wow. Like, but it's like that even for regular people.
yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? It's just learned behavior, bro.
It is.
Yeah.
For real. So watch what you do around your children. Watch what you do around your unique individuals. You know what I'm saying? Because these are sponges, and they are watching your every move.
And they are very smart. You know, I've learned they are smart. You think that they don't know or understand, they do. They just have their own way of expressing it, showing it, and they do things on their own time, but they know.
Nah, for real.
For sure.
And shoot, I guess we can conclude it for tonight. Dr.
What's your final
Jones,
message?
please share some with the people before we, you know what I'm saying, conclude the episode. Something. Drop a gem or something.
Kind of what we've been sharing today. Like he just said, you know, your children are your sponges. Whatever you put out into the world is a reflection not only on you, but it's the reflection that they see. So be mindful in what you're saying, what you're doing. Even it can be even something as simple as saying hello to people. Or, I'm big on yes, ma'am, no, sir. It's just a Louisiana thing. But just being respectful, because when you're not with your children, they're a reflection of you. So if they have those manners and they carry that out, you've done something. So I say all that to say, just be mindful in how you carry yourself because they're watching. And not only are your children watching, but the children that you have influence over. So whether it's neighbors or little cousins or nieces or nephews, they're watching too. If you do have a child with special needs and, you may have a question about, or you might not know that they have special needs and you have a question about, is this something that I should look further into, or is there something that we can do differently? Feel free to reach out to me. The email is info@dreamcatcherstherapy.com. My website is dreamcatcherstherapy.com. You'll talk to me. I'm the person. So like he said, I take great pride in what I do. I have a passion for it. I like to make sure that the families are getting what they need. And if we can't offer it, I'm more than happy to refer out and give you resources that may benefit you or your family. But if you have questions about it and you just want to know, feel free to call me and contact me and just ask those questions. And also, like we talked about earlier, don't be afraid in the unknown. If there's something that you feel that you can get your child help for, do it. If it's something that's positive and it'll better them for their future, why not do it? Nothing should stop you from that because you want the best for your child. Outside of that, that's all I had.
That's what's up, Mama. I
That's
sure
it.
appreciate it.
Now, I don't know how we're going to
Nah,
top
for
that,
real.
man.
I mean, all I can say is thank you, Dr. Jones, for coming to have a
Thank you for
conversation
having
with
me.
Quick
Yeah.
and King Drew Millions.
Hey.
Thank
We
you.
at.
He will. He's done it again.
Quick conversations with King Drew Millions. Quick conversations with King Drew Millions. Quick conversations with King Drew Millions.
Quick conversations with King Drew Millions.
Let's chop it up.